Okay, the time is 8:35 in the morning. Today's date is March the 4th, 2026. We're in Baton Rouge at the Department of Corrections headquarters. My name is Steve Prater. You can see our name tags in front of us. To my right is Jerry Ledoux. To my left is Chuck Gillis. Staff here in Baton Rouge, would you introduce yourselves, please?
Just
Okay, the staff, and we thank you for the job that you all do. And we are talking, our first cases are at the Jefferson Parish Correctional Center. And would the staff there that's helping us with this, would you introduce yourselves, please?
Yes, sir. This is Deputy Landry with the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir. We appreciate that. And our first hearing today, and this is a parole revocation hearing. Our first hearing will be with Mr. Vernon Jones. Is your name Mr. Jones?
Yes, sir. Good morning. How you doing, Mr.
Doing fine, Mr. Jones. And what is your DOC number?
126100.
Okay. And do you have a waiver in front of you, a questionnaire in front of you that says, talks about your attorney and that sort of thing? And
Yes, sir. I have it right here. I've read it and signed it.
Okay, you read it and signed it. Good man. Okay, your case has been assigned to Mr. Tillis to discuss any kind of rule or condition violations that you're suspected of. Mr. Tillis, would you go ahead and start?
Good morning, Mr. Jones. How are you doing?
As well, I'm fine, Mr. Tillis. How are you?
Good, good. We have some rule violations that you violated. Rule number 4. I'm going to ask you, I'm going to read one of the rules to you. You can plead guilty, not guilty with a statement. Violation number 4, you fail to refrain from criminal activities as of evident by the arrest on 5/6/25 for armed robbery. The bill of information under Jefferson Parish docket number 252737, armed robbery with a firearm and convicted felon with a weapon. The next court date is 3/3/2026. How do you plead? Guilty? Not guilty?
I plead not guilty, but may I ask a question, sir? I had it came in mind this morning to try to get a continuance. I went to court yesterday. I go back to court on May 11th for the suppressed evidence and everything. I was hoping that this board could let me go through the court proceedings before you try to, revoke me, or to see how my proceedings come out in court before I either revoke myself or I get found guilty or not guilty. So I was asking for continuance because I see on the paper I can ask for continuance at my meeting. I had sent a letter about 2 weeks ago, and I know it's probably too short for you guys to respond. So I'm just asking for continuance this morning.
Yes, sir. We did get your letter, just for one clarification.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got the letter, and I don't think it has anything to do with the court date that you have. It doesn't have anything to do with our revocation.
Well, okay, I understand what you said, Mr. Taylor. Look, can I just read this? What it says? It says, at the revocation hearing, you may speak, present witnesses, or present documents on your behalf. You may also request a continuance of the final revocation hearing to gather more information for the board to cross-examine diverse witnesses. My reason for the continuation is these are pending charges that they have against me, and me trying to explain to you without having to lie to the board will sort of incriminate myself, as opposed to the proceedings in court, as opposed to what's going on with the revocation. If you ask me some questions related to my crime that I'm allegedly, being accused of, and I have to answer in a correct way, you guys, I would have to take the fifth on. It would give you the right to violate me right off the top by me not being truthful to answer the questions, not incriminate myself because I'm in proceedings during my court. I'm not sure if you guys understand that.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and continue it.
Okay, do you have any questions?
I want to ask a question. Were you enrolled for the Parole Project
Yes, ma'am, I sure was.
and you left before that 6 months was up or whatever? You left the Parole Project?
Yes, I did, ma'am.
Why?
They some of the classes that I was taking over there, I had took them inside the penal system itself. And basically the only classes that I needed when I was there, it only took a month and something. And that was the dealing with phone technology and to go out to try to get job, not job skill resume, but introduce myself to a job and find employment. I didn't get kicked out or anything like that, no ma'am.
I'm going to say, let's go ahead and do a continuance.
Okay, I think we're prepared to vote. We have Mr. Tillis who's leading the charge and he votes to continue. Ms. Jerry,
I vote to have the hearing. Go ahead.
you vote to have the hearing. I probable cause has been found to have the hearing, the court hearing.
And we have an executive session.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion for an executive
And
session
a second.
and we have a second and no objection from me. So as of 8:42 in the morning, we will go into executive session for just a moment to discuss a procedural matter about this, and we will be right back.
All right, thank you, sir.
And I believe we're ready to get out of executive session. If I gotta have a motion and a
I
second.
move that we get back into regular session.
And
Got a motion and a second and no objection, so that we will be back in regular session as of now at 8:43. It's up to Mr. Tillis. And he had stated he was considering a
Continue.
continuance.
But we're gonna go ahead and have the case. I think we have enough evidence to talk to you about it, and you can plead guilty, not guilty, or with the statement. We're gonna move forward with it. Mr. Vernon. Okay, violation number 4, as you fail to refrain from criminal activities as evidence on your arrest on 5/6/25 armed robbery with a firearm and a convicted felon with a weapon. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or with the statement? You're on mute. They have you on mute.
Can you hear us?
We can hear you now.
Okay, I plead not guilty, Mr. Tillis.
With the statement?
No, at this time, I don't really have a statement in regards to that. I'm speaking to the fact because I'm still in court litigations. I don't want to say anything that's on record that would harm me as well. So, sir, no, I don't have a statement. I'm just not guilty.
Okay. Violation number 5, you failed to refrain from possessing a firearm as evident by your arrest for armed robbery on 5/6/25. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or with the statement?
I plead not guilty with a statement based upon the fact in my discovery package that I have from the court there in the search warrant of my home, in my vehicle, there was not a weapon found at all in that. I'm discharged with that from the robbery of that they allegedly say I did, but in evidence, there is no gun at all in it. I'm not sure if you guys have my discovery package or anything about that. There's no weapon involved, sir.
Okay, so did you try to rob?
No, sir.
You didn't have a firearm.
No, I don't own a firearm. I've never had a firearm, sir.
Colleagues have any questions?
Was there number 10 on there?
Okay, number 10, you failed to pay supervision fees. You are in the arrear of $819, have not made any payments. How do you plead on that?
I plead guilty to the fact of that, and I have a statement in regards to that. When I came home from the parole project, and the reason that I relieved early in the parole project, people understood this as well. Before I was released out of prison, my mother and my aunt died 30 days before I released. I came home into the home that I was, entitled to come to for living conditions approved by the parole board and my parole officer. My father was on hospice at that time, and during the time that I was out of prison, for the short period I was out there, I had to take care of my father. I was living off of snaps, food stamps was coming in. I tried to seek gainful employment and everything. My criminal history, my background, and my age didn't allow me to seek the employment. It would pull back up on my record. I had caught a job with my little brother. He has a landscaping business. I was only able to work like 2 or 3 days out of the week with him because I had to take care of my father. He didn't have a permanent, what you call live-in, some person to take care of him. So this is where I played the part with just me and my father. My father died October the 15th of 2024 and everything like that. So I was really like his primary caretaker besides the nurse that came from the Synergy Home Health Care. So this is why I didn't have employment. This was explained to my parole officers and everything doing that because I couldn't pay the bills because I was living off of food stamps and a check that my father was getting from his monthly benefits.
Okay, any colleagues have any questions?
Yes, sir. You're a second class offender.
Yes, sir.
How many times have you been accused and found guilty of violating probation or parole?
I think twice, sir. Last time I came home from prison was the first time I was on parole supervision. I had a substance abuse problem at that time, and I was revoked for dirty urine, sir.
Okay, and what about the second time?
I think it was either a domestic battery or something. I'm not really sure, sir. I know it was something.
So but you've been revoked twice before in the past, correct?
Yes, from parole supervision. Yes, that was go ahead.
I wasn't going to ask you about your current case, but I did want to find that out. How you do on?
I'm listening to you, Mr. Prater. We standing up, you know, it's kind of like uncomfortable in here because I'm leaning down talking to you guys. I can't hear you, Ms. Ledoux.
You're doing fine. We can see you fine.
Okay.
You can stand up if you feel more comfortable. Yeah.
Okay, any questions, Ms. Ledoux?
No, I would just note that video footage of the crime clearly shows a gun. So I'm looking at the evidence before me today that I have access to. Okay, thank you. That's all I need to say.
Okay, I think we're prepared to vote, Mr. Tillis.
My vote is to revoke for violation of rule number 4.5.
Okay,
My vote is to revoke based on evidence of he didn't follow his probation parole guidelines.
okay. And my vote also is to revoke violations of 4, 5, and 10. Okay, as of 8:49 this morning, your parole has been revoked. Thank you, sir. End of the.
Continue.
Good morning. The time is 8:55 in the morning. We're in Baton Rouge, and this is our second hearing. And we're at, you were at Jefferson Parish Correctional Center. Is that correct? You're on mute, please.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Okay, would you introduce yourself, the deputy that's in the room with us?
Yes, sir. It's Deputy Landry with the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office.
Okay, thank you for hosting us. We appreciate that. And my name is Steve Prater. To my right is Jerry Ledoux. To my left is Chuck Tillis. And we're in Baton Rouge, as I said previously. And your name is, please introduce yourself, sir.
Cord Goche,
Okay, and what is your DLC number?
548340.
Okay, we've lost the video, but we are picking up the audio. I think we've lost the video just on our screen. Is that correct?
Oh, no, they're moving. I can see. Yeah.
But up here, it's frozen. Okay, well, we can see you on another screen, but not the one directly in front of us. Mr. Gaither, is that right?
Goche.
Gaucher.
Gucci.
Okay, excuse me, I'm from North Louisiana, so I have trouble with that.
Yes,
So anyway, what is you said what your DLC number is. Do you have a waiver in front of you, a parole questionnaire?
Yes, sir.
Parole revocation questionnaire, and it's in front of you, and you signed that and you acknowledged all of the appropriate places there, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you're ready for this hearing, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, your case has been assigned to Mr. Tillis to my left, and we've all familiar with your case, but he's gonna be the lead interviewer, and we'll ask any questions that we might have.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Tillis?
Good morning, Mr. Goche. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you? Good morning.
Good. We have violation number 4. You were arrested on 7/10/25 for resisting an officer, obstruction of justice, contrabands in correctional center, possession of synthetic marijuana, and 2 municipal attachments in the Second Parish Court, 2 municipal attachments in West Wego, and 2 municipal attachments in Gretna. The charges of possession of Schedule 3 and obstruction of justice are currently pending under Jefferson's docket 25-544. On 2/9/26, the pending felony charges of obstruction of justice and Schedule 3 possession of controlled dangerous substance were dismissed. The charges were resisting arrest and possession of synthetic marijuana are currently pending. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or with a statement?
I pled guilty and they gave me 6 months credit for time served.
You plead guilty?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Colleagues have any questions?
Actually, I do. Mr. Goche, last name Ledoux, I think I knew that, how to say that name. You have a significant drug problem, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
So you were actually did a 28-day when you got out, completed it, and you went to Oxford House?
Yes, ma'am. I plan to do the same thing when I get out, just when I do get out.
So you're having a real difficult time breaking that addiction.
Yes, ma'am. Since I lost my mom, I had found my mom dead, and I had really took it hard and kind of went off the deep end, if you will.
You're a 4th felony offender. Have most of these arrests been drug related?
All of them, yes, ma'am.
What's the longest that you spent incarcerated?
14 months.
Okay, so while you've been incarcerated, have you had any kind of substance abuse treatment while incarcerated?
Yes, ma'am. I took the substance abuse class in Plaquemines.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so your drugs are mentally, are you ready to, you're ready to get off drugs?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That informs my decision. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I was gonna point out the same thing, but you know you've got a huge drug problem. You're going to be getting out. Your full-time date is, I think, not too many months from now.
Oh, yeah. I wonder, I don't know if we can even do
That's what I was wondering if you need to go to an extensive drug treatment plan under the DOC guidelines while you're locked up. I don't think that you getting out and going to another 28-day program where you can leave if you need to or whatever, that's going to be sufficient for you. I think you need some more rigid guidelines. But I think we're prepared to vote. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Mr. Tillis?
My vote today is revoke for violation number 4.
Okay, Ms. Jerry, you maybe can word this.
My vote is to send you to, in lieu of revocation, to a DOC substance abuse program. And it may not be the length of time that I'd like to see, but in lieu of revocation, I would like for you to go to a DOC substance abuse program. So you would still be incarcerated, but you would have some hopefully productive time while you're in, okay?
Okay. I concur, I would just. I hate to confuse things, but I'd like to call for an executive session if I could get a motion and
I second.
So moved.
okay, I have a motion and a second and no objection for a executive session. Talk about an option on procedural matters. It's 9:03. We'll be back in just a minute or two. Okay. Okay, the time is 9:06. Could I have a motion to go back into,
I moved.
okay, we got a
And a second.
motion and a second to go back into regular session. And no objections. So we are back at 9:06 into regular session. And you have one vote to revoke. You have one vote in lieu of revocation that you attend a long-term substance abuse operated by the Department of Corrections while incarcerated. And I will second that. And that would be my recommendation too. That'd be my vote also, is that you, in lieu of revocation, you attend a long-term substance abuse at the DOC's discretion, long-term substance abuse treatment plan. And so having said that, Mr. Tillis, is that concur? Do you
Yeah, I concur.
concur with that amendment on that?
I concur.
Okay, all right. So we have, as of right now, your parole has not been revoked. But in lieu of revocation, you are still going to be in jail and you're still going to have to attend a Department of Corrections long-term substance abuse plan wherever they decide to send you. And that's our vote as of 9:07. Good morning, Mr. Bud. How you doing today?
Good morning, sir. Pretty good. How are y'all?
Oh, that's horrible audio. Let's see. Who is it? Okay, we're at Calcasieu Correctional Center is where you are. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there's a terrible echo in the room.
We're gonna move to a different area. We're gonna move to a less echoey area. Oh no, it's just a lot of echo in there.
Thanks for doing that because it's horrible.
No, it's the echo in that room. The room is open?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Let's
Bring it. Oops, sorry.
okay, let's try that. Let's try that room. The time is 9:15 in the morning. We're in Baton Rouge at headquarters, Department of Correction headquarters. My name is Steve Prater. To my left is Chuck Tillis. To my right is Jerry Ledoux. We're here to have a revocation hearing for Mr. Cody Mudd. Mr. Cody Mudd is at Calcasieu Parish, correct? Is that you I'm looking at, Mr. Mudd?
Yes, sir.
What is your DLC number?
758456.
Okay. And do you have a revocation questionnaire in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign that questionnaire and answer those questions appropriately?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you're prepared for this hearing, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, your case has been assigned to me, and so I'm gonna be asking some questions. You're accused of violating condition number 4 of your parole conditions that you agreed to. And it's a couple of different things on there. One is that you were you engaged in new criminal conduct and you were arrested for attempted third-degree rape and home invasion. And I realize those have been dismissed by the DA's office, correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you guilty of those or innocent of those?
I'm innocent.
Okay. The second one is, you engaged in new criminal conduct, which, resulted in the arrest of unauthorized entry of an inhabited dwelling. And was that case in relation to the first case?
Yes, sir.
And that has been dismissed also, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then the last one is the same, you're accused of violating the same condition, condition number 4, which says you won't be involved in criminal conduct. And it is that you failed to refrain from associating with people known to be involved in criminal activity, as well as failed to avoid casinos, which is evidenced by the Sulphur PD arrest report, in which it was reported you were at a casino with a convicted offender, Ty Mott. Are you guilty of that or innocent of that?
Guilty.
You're guilty of that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Do you have any kind of statement you want to make about that?
Well, I don't know if it means anything, but I will say that I didn't know that he was a felon. But I definitely knew I was in the casino.
All right. I really don't have any other questions.
I don't have any.
Okay. Mr. Mudd, I think that you've been in trouble, and I think you got out. You're a second offender, and I think that you didn't abide by the rules that you're supposed to abide by. And that main rule is number 4, you're hanging around with the wrong people doing the wrong things. And so regardless of the DA having dismissed that charge, I'm going to move on to the other one where you're going to casinos and you're hanging around, hanging around other convicted offenders. And in addition, some suspicious circumstances. I think that you need to go ahead and finish up your time. And so therefore my vote is that you be revoked as violating condition number 4.
I concur with Mr. Prater.
My vote is also to revoke.
Okay, as of 9:19 this morning, your parole has been revoked. End of the hearing.
Okay, good morning. Today is October 7th, 2025. The Parole Board is called to order at 8:46. My name is Pete Freeman. I will be the chair today. To my right is Ms. Stapleton. To my left is Ms. Tillis. We're here today for the revocation hearing on Chaz Harris. Mr. Harris, will you state your name and DOT number for the record?
You on mute.
Ms. Harris, you're on mute.
Chaz Harris, my DOC number is 791101.
Okay, yes, that's you. Okay, Mr. Harris, did you get a parole questionnaire? Do you have?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you understand that you wasn't
Yes,
eligible for an attorney, but you have hired your own?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. And attorney, would you introduce yourself for the record, please, sir?
It's me. Good morning. My name is Tessa Silver.
Sorry, ma'am.
Sorry, no problem.
Okay. All right, and you can kind of guide him along if you want, and you can give your presentation either before we start or at the end. So.
Thank you. I'm happy to wait until the end.
Okay. Okay, so with staff at headquarters, introduce yourself.
Sure, I'll think about it.
Okay, and would any staff over there at Orleans introduce themselves?
Ms. Lawrence?
All right, Ms. Lawrence, thank you for having us today. We appreciate it. Okay, Mr. Harris, your case has been assigned to me, so I'm gonna be leading this hearing. I'm gonna read the violations. You can plead guilty, not guilty, with or without a state, okay? And we're gonna go through them as we go. So each one will take, and we'll go through the whole thing, get your side of it and everything, and go through it, okay? So, let's see. Let me get to your violations. All right. You're charged with violating condition number 4. I will not engage in any criminal activity, nor will I associate with people who are known to be involved in criminal activity. I will avoid bars and casinos. I will refrain from illegal use of drugs or alcohol. The subject was arrested on 5/19/2025 and booked into the jail on illegal carrying of weapons, illegal possession of a stolen firearm, violation of a protective order, and criminal damage to property and theft. How do you plead to that charge?
Not guilty.
Okay. Tell me why you're not guilty.
I'm not guilty because I didn't have knowledge that the gun was in my bag. So
So you said you didn't know the gun was in your bag.
yes, sir.
What about taking the clothes? Did you take the clothes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the violation of protective order, what's that about?
That's because the charge that I'm on parole for, it was a charge from 2023. So they had put a protective order on me. And by the illegal carry being on me, it's a violation.
By the what now? What made it a violation?
By them charging me with the illegal carry of the firearm, it was a violation of the protective order.
Violation of protective order because you had a gun? Okay. All right. Yeah, I was trying to understand that one. All right. I have a few questions. Okay, so you're saying the gun was not yours, correct?
Yes. Yes,
Who
sir.
the gun belonged to?
It belonged to one of my associates that I let stay with me.
Your associates that you let stay with. Okay, and I don't have any other questions. Nothing that
You say-
my colleague.
You say the gun was in your backpack,
Yes, sir.
and how did it get there?
So I let the person that was staying with me, I let him use my bag a few times. So I had no knowledge of it.
Okay, so you guys were sharing a backpack.
Yes, sir.
I see.
Okay, well, the second, they also charge you with number 5, which is the same thing. So I'm just gonna read it and get your plea on the record. I shall not have in my possession, control of any firearms or dangerous weapons. And of course, you were arrested on 5/19/25, booked into the jail, for illegal carrying a weapon and illegal possession of stolen firearms. You want to plead the same way and use the same statement?
Yes, sir.
Not guilty. Okay, and then the last one is about your supervision fees. It says you were $441 in arrear on your supervision fees. How do you plead to that?
Guilty.
Okay. Any particular reason you were behind?
So I was trying to get myself together. Like I was having a baby and I was trying to get me an apartment and make sure everything was straight for when she get here.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, so let's get to the people here speaking on your behalf. First, we have Miss Chantrell Harris, your mother. Miss Harris?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Tell us what you want us to know about your son.
I'm speaking on his behalf. First, I want to say that when Chaz was living with me, he was not allowed to have any firearms. Secondly, the situation around how the firearms got into his backpack is very unfortunate. Like, he allowed these people to live with him. The maintenance people let the people into his house after he told them that they had to leave. The maintenance man allowed them into his apartment, after he told them that they couldn't return. When he asked me to meet him, he had left my home. He asked me to meet him at the apartment. When I got there, I noticed that the guy had 2 firearms. I called the police. When NOPD got there, they treated us like we were the aggressors. Like, they disregarded the whole thing of the guy having the firearms and told me that it was not a use. I asked them to search him. They refused. A week later, Chaz was doing whatever he was doing with the theft situation, and that's when the firearms came.
Okay. Can I ask you a question? You say when you got there, you noticed the 2 guns, he had 2 guns?
Yes, the guy who he allowed to stay there, and that's what prompted me to dial 911.
You called 911.
I did.
Okay.
All right, and Brian Large. Okay, so Dave,
Good morning.
what you
Good
want
morning,
to say?
board. Good morning, board. My name is Brian Lars. I'm a social worker with the Orleans Public Defender's Office here in support of Mr. Harris. Yeah, so like immediately when I assessed Mr. Harris's needs, I identified a few very important things. So you do have a rental plan that I did submit to the board. And one of the things that I identified is that Mr. Harris has had some mental health challenges that goes back to when he was an adolescent, and some of those things have continued to cause problems for him. So I personally, me and Mr. Harris, we came up with this plan. He agreed to it, and the first thing that the plan states is that I'll be referring him to Metropolitan Human Services, where he can be connected to an ag team, so he can maintain a baseline level of functioning and medication compliance. Another referral will be to First 72 Plus, where he can get some additional support. And our office also will be directly communicating with probation and parole to make sure that in his support systems, to make sure that he stays on the right path. Also want the board to consider this, that Chaz has a very supportive family. And one of the things that I didn't note in my reentry plan was that, Chaz was working as a chef at Antoine's restaurant and also working part-time at Mr. Ad's. And he had an apartment and he was managing and doing well. And also I just want the board to consider allowing him to get some help. This is a young man who's trying. He has some mental health challenges, and I think that with the right support in place, that he can drive and continue to be productive citizen.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir. We appreciate that. Okay, and now Ms. Silverman, his attorney, would you close it out for us before we vote?
Thank you very much. So one thing is that we received last evening an NOPD report that we had requested, which corroborates what Ms. Harris and Mr. Harris were describing about this incident with these other people. Since we got it last night, I wasn't able to send it over to the board yet, but I'm happy to put it up on my screen now and email it over later if that would work.
Sure. What can you tell us what it says?
Yes, absolutely. I'll share my screen and then I will also read it.
Yeah, why don't you do that? Okay, yeah, you need to read it. I'll never read it.
Yes, absolutely. No problem. So the actual narrative is short. It says on Tuesday, 5/13/2025, which is a few days before the incident where Mr. Harris was arrested, Senior Police Officer James Godwin responded to a signal 103F fight at 2511 South Carrollton Avenue. And then that lists item number 12624-25. We requested that report as well, but we're told that investigation was still pending, so it was not released to us. The fight involved the complainant of this report, Chaz Harris, and his acquaintance, Demetrius McLean. And to clarify, I think if we had the other report, what it would explain is that the reason for the fight is that Mr. Harris was trying to get Mr. McLean to leave his mom's house after he had been discovered there with firearm. Whom he had allowed to reside in his apartment for approximately 1 week before a falling out occurred. Shortly after resolving the fight and leaving the scene, Officer Godwin responded back to 2511 South Carrollton Avenue in reference to a Signal 67 theft. On Officer Godwin's arrival, Harris stated that 2 sets of keys to his apartment were missing, one from his girlfriend's purse and one which he had in his trouser pocket when the fight transpired. He showed Officer Godwin a text message from McLean, where McLean stated that he had the keys in his possession. Officer Godwin requested that Harris email him screenshots of the text message to attach to his report, though it had thus far not been received and will be attached in a supplemental report if it is obtained. McLean's identity is also not positive as of the time of this report. His date of birth is not known, only an approximate age estimated by Harris. So the reason that I wanted to just share that with you all is just to substantiate what Mr. Harris and his mother have shared, that there was this incident truly just a few days before Mr. Harris was arrested, where other folks were found in his mom's home with weapons, and there was a conflict between them where the police were called, they were forced to leave, and then it was discovered that they had stolen essentially keys to the apartment, which would have allowed them to regain access and leave whatever property or items wherever they wanted to in the home. And certainly plausible that they could have put a gun in Mr. Harris's backpack, having shared the backpack with him before, either, maybe just to stash it because it's a firearm and they didn't want it to be discovered elsewhere, or maybe as some form of retribution for what had happened earlier that week. I had an opportunity to review the body-worn camera of the search of Mr. Harris, which I imagine you did as well. And it did really strike me that there's a strong shift in Mr. Harris's demeanor after the firearm is discovered in the backpack, that up until that point, he's very calm, he's extremely cooperative, he doesn't seem to be concerned at all. And I will note that he was not even arrested for, let alone later charged with, any theft of merchandise of the store. And then when the firearm is pulled out of the backpack, he basically decompensates, like he is shaken, he's shocked. He says that he is, he shared the backpack with others, he's crying, he says he doesn't know it was there, he says he's going to kill himself at one point. It's very hard to watch, but I think that the really striking change there is further evidence that he genuinely did not know that the firearm was there, or else you probably would have seen that behavior, or at least more anxiety, earlier on when he first is detained and they take his backpack. So for all those reasons, I do think that it is not more likely than not in this case that Mr. Harris knew that he had a firearm in his possession. And in light of that, in light of the fact that this is his first time on parole and he was otherwise doing everything he possibly could to be compliant and to stay on the right track, and in light of the really excellent plan that Mr. Lars has helped put together to help continue to keep Mr. Harris stable, we would be asking that the Honorable Board not revoke his parole today. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Does my panel have any other questions?
Yeah. Mr. Harris, you did say you stole when you were at the store. Did I hear you say that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have no more questions.
Okay. Okay, it's time for the board to vote. I will vote first, since I am the chair today. I find you in violation of condition number 4, 5, and 10. The gun was in that bag. If I was on parole, I'd be searching anything I picked up, and I wouldn't be loaning anything to people I knew that had the propensity to have a firearm or whatever. But my vote today is to revoke, and that's my vote. Mr. Tiller?
My vote also is to revoke.
And Mr. Stapleton?
And I concur with my board members. I'll vote to revoke.
Okay, Mr. Harris, today your parole's been revoked. You'll be getting a letter in the mail telling you everything and what you can do and when you can reapply. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Percy Antoine, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
My name is Steve Prater, and
Yes, sir.
I'm at the Department of Corrections in Baton Rouge at headquarters. With me on this committee on parole, on this panel, to my right is Jerry Ledoux, to my left, Chuck Tillis, and we'll be deciding about your parole revocation hearing this morning. The time is 10:49 in the morning, and you are at Terrebonne Parish Jail, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what is your DOC number?
528387.
Okay, and do you have a questionnaire in front of you that's got your name signed at the bottom of it talking about this hearing?
What?
It's a revocation questionnaire. Should say at the top, questionnaire.
All I got is revocation hearing, notice of final revocation hearing.
Yes, sir, and there's some check marks on there about an attorney and all of this business? Where you
Yes.
signed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and it talks about the hearing today and that you're not eligible for appointed counsel, is that correct? In other words, are you under any kind of medical care at this particular time?
No, ma'am. I mean, no, sir.
Okay, and so are you prepared to have this hearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, had to get those preliminaries out of the way. Your case has been assigned to Mr. Tillis, who is on my left. Mr. Tillis, would you take it from here, please?
Good morning, Ms. Antoine.
Good morning, sir.
We have you for violations of some rules here. You failed to restrain criminal activities. You committed the offense of an aggravated assault with a firearm, 3 count, on or about 5/1/25. This new activity result in your arrest by the Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office. On 12/1/25, you pled guilty to the amendment charges of 2 counts of aggravated assault. You were sentenced to 6 months parish jail under a Terrebonne docket. How do you plead guilty, not guilty, or with a statement?
Sir, say that again with a statement.
How do you plead not guilty, guilty, or you want to have a statement on one of your pleas, guilty or not guilty?
I mean, I can speak on my behalf.
Yes.
All right then, sir. I only took the time.
You're pleading guilt or not guilty? Tell me that first. Are you guilty or are you not guilty?
I'm guilty because of the violation of the conditions, but
Okay, go ahead. What's your statement?
all right. I only took the time, sir, because DCFS in Thibodeau has my kids. The violation, I never committed this crime because I never had no weapon or none of that. My sister only did what she did to me because I didn't want to give her no money because she has a bad addiction. I've been holding a job since I've been out since August 26th of 2024. I've been holding my job since September 2nd, September 5th of 2024, all the way up until the time that this here occurred. Sir, I never ever violated no parole since I ever been coming to jail and been getting on parole. I always followed the conditions and I always completed on parole.
You and your sister had an altercation?
My sister, yes, sir. I mean, I'm the only brother she have. I'm the baby. And I look out for her.
you know what I'm saying, when I can, but after I started seeing that she not trying to help herself, I stopped looking out for her and stopped helping her until she started wanting to help herself. I've been putting her in rehabs after rehab, all type of stuff, sir. I can't do it no more. I'm 36 years old. I got 4 kids. I can't take care of no grown woman and my household.
You're
So,
living with your sister?
no, sir. And this the tripping part about it. She said what I said. She said what I did. And the same day, the same night, I'm in the house sleep. In her house, sleep.
Okay, any of my colleagues have any questions?
I will note that he was told to go to the day reporting center, and he did have a job. So I'm just gonna say,
I go from work to home to taking care of my kids. I don't even be in the streets.
Where's the family member, excuse me, did you have any other question? Where are the family members that say that you assaulted them?
I don't even know, like, I don't know where my sister at. I've been trying to get in touch with her since I've been here to like tell her, man, come on, man, you know what you're doing. Like, she took my manager position away from me at McDonald's. I was about to become a manager. I never held the job for almost a whole year, sir. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. 2-3 months in at the job, and it's moving too slow for me. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm going back to the streets, but I couldn't do that this time because I made a promise to my kids that I was gonna leave the street life alone. And that's what I did. I held this job for a whole year almost. And my job right now still asking my family when I talk to him when he getting out, because we waiting on him to get out so he could get his job back.
How many
The supervisor of the job even said, just hold his position until he get out. Once he get out, we're gonna put him back on the schedule. We're gonna hold his position for him.
What class offender are you?
Right now, it's showing class offender number 5. You think I got time to be coming back to as I know I'm a class offender number 5? I have 4 kids.
Okay, Dan, anybody else have any questions?
And right now, as we speak, April 14th is the decision on is they gonna keep my kids in custody and put them in foster care, or they gonna let them go to my sister or my other sister, my stepsister, and either her or the grandmother. But I have until April 14th. They trying to terminate my parenting rights and everything, and I ain't do nothing. My baby mama and her boyfriend, all type of stuff going on with my kids, and I only took the time because of my kids. I have my knowledge of knowing misdemeanors doesn't violate your parole, so that's what I went off of. I didn't know that misdemeanors now violate your parole. I only took it because of my kids, and to get back to my job. My job waiting on me, my kids in the state. Please, I'm begging.
Okay, you ready to vote?
My vote today is gonna be, do not revoke.
Okay, that's one vote. You gotta have 2 out of 3.
my vote is to do not revoke.
Okay, my vote is to revoke. I think with your history of domestic violence and fourth offender and all of the other violent things you've done, and nobody's on here to tell us any different. I think you did exactly what you pled guilty to plus. But that doesn't matter because you still take the day. You're not revoked. And but I'm just saying what my vote was. So when you get back on the street, you see how easy it is to go back to jail. You're looking at a lot of time.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's the end of this hearing. You're not revoked this morning. The time is 10:58.
Yes, thank you, please, thank you. Thank you, God, thank you. I'm going back to work. I'm going back to work.
Six eight zero, sir.
Okay, and my name's Steve Prater. I failed to introduce myself. I'm sorry. And to my right is Jerry Stu. To my left is Chuck Tillis, and we're going to be hearing your revocation hearing this morning. And do you have a questionnaire in front of you?
No, sir.
Okay, you refused to sign that questionnaire. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I signed on paper.
Okay, are you willing to have this? Are you willing to have this hearing this morning? You gonna participate in this hearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you understand, are you mentally stable at this particular time?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs?
No, sir.
Okay, are you under the care of a mental health professional?
No, sir.
Okay, so you really don't have any reason not to, or to have an appointed counsel. And you had a chance to hire a counsel, and there's none that have checked in with us. So we're fixing to go ahead and have this hearing this morning. And you have one person that's here to speak on your behalf, and that's your sister, and we'll get to her in just a moment. But let me explain to you, since the case is mine, I want to explain to you what we're here for.
Yes, sir.
You're a sixth offender, is that correct?
No, sir.
Okay, what offender are you? What's your offender status?
Probably three.
Three? Okay, well, it said sixth on the rap sheet, so it doesn't really make any difference. I'm just trying to make sure we got the right person. And anyway, you're accused of having violated condition number 4, which means that you won't be involved in any criminal conduct and won't be around drugs and won't be around that sort of thing. And you're accused of violating that because of an arrest that occurred in May of 2025. And you were charged with possession of fentanyl or distribution of fentanyl. You were charged with possession with intent on CDS 2, possession with intent on CDS 1. CDS means controlled dangerous substance.
Yes, sir.
And the distribution of fentanyl. And so all were dismissed except the fentanyl charge. And so you're still going to court on that. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you're accused of having sold fentanyl to an undercover agent, is that correct?
No, sir, it was no agent involved. The police said I sold to him. If you read my affidavit, the police say he made a control by himself. And he tried to act as if that day he bought some and took it to the lab, got it tested, and came back and got me, but that's not what happened, sir.
Okay, but you're accused of having sold this fentanyl under a controlled buy situation where it was controlled by the police department. They got the fentanyl and they took it to the crime lab and it came back having, I think, it had synthetic marijuana, cocaine, heroin, and fentanyl in what you're accused of having sold. Is that correct?
Sir, none of that never happened. They got this dirty police officer. He don't like me, and he put all that on me. We know that you can never have a mixture like that. That's never a mixture. Like that'll kill somebody, man. That's death.
Okay, so you're saying your statement is, and I assume you're pleading not guilty. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I'm not guilty. I never. This is what happened, sir. Well, I was contacted. Well, my old parole officer went and got my information from my new parole officer for the police. Well, they was texting my sister, who on there right now, phone to set up a meeting while I was at work, tell them that they want to see me outside of the office. So I told them I'd get off at 4:30, which when I got off, me and my sister go over there. Soon we get there, my old parole officer telling me like, you got a warrant for Anthony Cowan. I'm like, a warrant? But I already know that the police officers don't like me because under when I had my last case, I said some bad words to him. I did because he messed over me then. But he seen me made when I went to report. He saw me, he was over there seeing somebody else parole officer. And I kind of knew he was gonna do something. He didn't even know I was out of jail until he saw me then. And a couple weeks later, he come back and put these bogus charges on me. But they dismissed all the charges and somehow wind up with another charge in July. That fentanyl charge that you see, he put that on me in July after they dismissed my other charges. So that's what I'm going to court on now, sir. I don't know what's going on in this matter, sir. I really don't. That's why I wasn't signing nothing, because I never did nothing. I never sold nothing. I never was in contact with nobody on nothing. And I just wind up in jail, sir. That's what happened.
Okay, all right. So your statement basically is that the police officer has it out for you. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
personal vendetta against me because I said some bad words to him, sir.
Okay, let's move on to condition number 10. You owe $441 in back
They
fees.
saying that the reason why they saying my parole never stopped while I was ill, but I never was behind. Before I come to jail, I made all my payments, sir. But if you go back from when I first come to jail, I didn't owe a thing. I paid my parole officer. I reported every month. I paid online. I ain't owe nothing. But the new parole officer say that it looked like they never stopped my fees while I was locked up. The 6 months I was locked up, they never stopped my fees, but I never been in the real. My sister pay online for me every month. I go report, and my sister pay them online. I never owed nothing. Miss Michelle Shepard will tell you that. I never owed her nothing.
Okay, all right. That's just what you were accused of, and I appreciate the statements on both number 4 and number 10. Let's hear from your sister and see what she's got to say about all of this. Miss Taquisha Mollett.
Yes, sir.
I apologize if I said your name wrong, but what do you have to say about this fella? Give us your insight.
Okay, May the 22nd, I kept getting calls from what's supposed to have been his probation officer. So they kept calling and they kept texting me and my mom. And I told the lady, I said, ma'am, he already reported. I said, so what did he need? She said, I'm just trying to keep him on track and we need to speak with him outside of his regular visit. I say, okay. I say, well, when he get off, I bring him by there. She said, no. She said, just meet us at the location, his address. I said, okay, just like that. So
She kept calling. She kept calling. She said, "Are you coming? Are you coming?" I said, "Ma'am, we're on our way. Like, it takes like 20 minutes. We're on our way." So when we finally got there, we got to the house. One of the officers came out, and LaDamian and them, he went inside to speak to our godmother, and they came back out and they told him that he was under arrest, and he was like, "For what?" He said, "We have a warrant for your arrest." He said, "For what?" They patted him down and this, that, and another, and a third. And LaDamian noticed the lady. He said, "You're not my probation officer." No, she asked him. He said, "You're not my probation officer," just like that. She said, "No." She said, "Did I used to be your probation officer or something to that nature?" He was like, no. He said, "No," just like that. And so he patted him down and everything. He said, "Well, we have to wait Mr. Cowan." I think that's his name, Mr. Cowan. So we waited probably about 10 to 15 minutes. Mr. Cowan come up. He was like, "Did y'all pat him down?" The officer was like, "Yes, we did." He said, "Did y'all get anything off of him?" He said, "No." He said, "You didn't get any drugs off of him?" He said, "No." He said, "You didn't get any money or a gun off of him?" He said, "No, we didn't get anything off of him. We patted him down." Okay, so Karen was like, "Well, Diamond, we have a warrant for your arrest, this, that, and other, and the third." He told him, whatever have you. He said, "I haven't done anything." He said, "So how you have a warrant for my arrest?" So he said, "I'm not gonna go backwards and forth for you, with you." He said, "Because you still selling over there and you still selling something." He said, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "I don't even live over there. So what are you talking about?" Just like that. So they kind of was going backwards and forward. To make a long story short, they was arguing. So whatever have you, they got done. So he took him and put him in the back of his car. He turned around. He brought out a yellow envelope. When he brought out the yellow envelope, I'm assuming it's something that you write on. He turned around and looked at the physical address to get the physical address because he didn't have it on the paper. So him and LaDamian by then still going backwards and forward. And that was it. So Cowan came and he spoke with me and my other sister. He said, "I know y'all probably have questions for me." He said, "I'm gonna try to answer them as much as I can." I said, "Okay." I said, "I was just trying to see, what do you mean? Like, what are you going to jail for?" He said, "Miss Malley," he said, "I'm gonna be honest with you." He said, "Several people that came to my office this week and was telling me about him selling drugs, this, that, and the other, and the third." He said it was fentanyl, something else, and something else. He named probably about 4 or 5 drugs. He said that it killed somebody. I say, "Huh?" I said, "So what, he going to jail for murder?" Just like that. He said, "Miss Mallet," he said, "I know that's your family member." He said, "We all have family members." He said, "In fact, my brother sell drugs." He said, "I can't get him to stop." He said, "But I told her Damien the last time I was gonna get him." He said,
Ma'am,
"Sir,
we
sir?"
can be, would you kind of get to the point of what you know about this distribution charge or what you want to tell us about your brother?
That's the point that I'm getting to with him and
Well,
Cowan. He
okay,
didn't. Okay, so well, I'm gonna tell you this. When they picked him up, he didn't have anything on him. Cowan said that somebody came to his office and told him, and that's what made him come out to pick him up.
okay. All right. Let's see, Mr. Mollett,
Yes, sir.
let me ask you something. It says on your rap sheet you're a 6th offender. How many times have you been on parole?
I've been on parole. Uh, I like every time after I got out, so that was like 3 times.
How many times have you been revoked on parole?
I never really been revoked on parole. I always like, well, I've been revoked. Yeah, I have been revoked after I take a sentence, and they kind of like they extend my parole. So like when I plea out to a charge, they like running in my parole, and so if that's considered as revoked, I guess that's revoked.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Can you name the officer that you think has it out for you? What
Oh,
was
yes,
his-
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. His name is Anthony Cowan.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Any other questions?
I want to ask a question. Mr. Millette,
Yes, sir.
are you selling drugs? Have you been selling drugs since you've been on parole?
No,
Tell me
sir.
that.
No, no, sir. No, sir. It's just simply a personal vendetta with me and him, sir. It's a
Okay.
personal vendetta.
How long have you been out on parole?
I was out for like 9 months. I got released in probably like the end of September in 2024, and I was working with my uncle, Mr. Chuck. I was working with my uncle, and I haven't had no run-ins or no problem with the police or nothing. Doing what I'm supposed to do on parole, sir. But when I went to report in May, early May, and I ran into that officer, he looked at me funny, and I knew he was gonna be something because it's simply from my last case, sir. The vendetta started then. He locked me up, but he claimed that I was in the car, me and my stepbrother. He claimed he found a small bag of drugs on the passenger side, but they let my stepbrother go. He the passenger. He telling him like it wasn't nothing over there. I was sitting over there, but he locked me up, and that pushed forward the anger in me to say the words that I said to him, and he had a personal vendetta against me ever since then.
Okay, but you have not been selling or using drugs?
No, sir, at all.
And you've been up with your pay?
I don't use drugs, sir, and I haven't sold no narcotics or nothing since I've been released. I haven't did, sir.
Thank you. That's all.
Okay, thank you. All right, you got any questions? Okay, I reviewed the reports, the police reports. I reviewed what it said about what was contained and what you're accused of having control of buy, sold.
Yes,
I think you're right about the money, the number 10. I think you're not guilty of that. I think you have been keeping up, but I can't get over the fact that we got a police report and we got a crime lab report saying that there were some very dangerous drugs in what you're supposed to have sold on this controlled buy. So therefore my vote is to revoke your parole at this particular time. That's just my vote.
Mr. Steve, can I ask you a question?
No, sir, we're voting now. Mr. Tillis?
My vote is do not revoke.
Okay.
This is very difficult. You have a court case. Your full term date is 27, 8 of 27, next August.
Yes, ma'am.
You're going to court, and if you're found guilty, then you'll be resentenced. Where did the drugs come from that they tested if they didn't get it from you?
Ma'am, it was never no drugs involved. I swear it wasn't, ma'am. I don't know what that law talking about. This was his words to me. These was his words to me when me and him had a conversation. His words was he not gonna be satisfied until I do a long time. Those was his words. But
Okay.
you don't have no evidence of this buy, no evidence of these drugs. We don't even know if they're really drugs.
My vote today is do not revoke.
Okay, as of today, at 9:59, you have not been revoked. The vote was 2-1. I voted to revoke and the other two voted not to revoke. Therefore you carried the day. And so you are not revoked as of today.
Amen.